spending cycle, the election cycle, what's happening post these Supreme Court decisions. He's a senior fellow at the Center for Responsive Politics. Was at the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, where he served as the commission's statistician, excuse me, it's a little early, can't say that word, its press officer, and is a special assistant working to redesign the disclosure process. Well, let me just show our viewers some numbers here, what we have so far. 2014 fundraising when it comes to Democrats. In the House, you've got $225 million. PACs make up about $79.5 million, individuals $131.9 million. In the Senate for the Democrats, $157.8 million. PACs about $27.5 million, in individuals $117.9 million. Let's go to the Republican side. House, almost $300 million. PACs coming in with 103, and individuals raising $158 million. And in the Senate, $131 million on the Republican side. The PACs make up $24.6 million, and you've got individuals with $85.3 million. What do those numbers say to you?
That this is a fairly traditional cycle in terms of what the candidates themselves are raising. It's not out of line with past election cycles. It's focused on really competitive races, and there are a number in the Senate, there are fewer in the House, where there's going to be real competition in November, and those tend to draw attention, and they also tend to draw money. The other thing that's kind of buried within those numbers that is a little hard to pull out, it's absolutely true that individual contributions represent the majority of what candidates raise and spend. The PAC contribution numbers are really focused almost exclusively at this stage on incumbent members. It's almost equally balanced for both parties, especially in the House, between contributions from PACs and contributions from individuals if you're already in Congress. For challengers, people who are trying to unseat those candidates, or for cases where the seat is open and so there might be competition in the fall because there is no incumbent, PACs are generally less involved at this point especially.
For the challenger.
That's right, for the challenger,
okay,
or even in open seats. And the logic there is pretty straightforward. What PACs are typically trying to do, because they often represent businesses or other kinds of institutions, trade associations, organizations, they want access to members of Congress. They want to be able to communicate with the people on the Hill about policy choices and legislative change, and express themselves, make sure that their positions are well known. One way you do that incrementally is to make sure that you've been in touch with the congressperson in the context of fundraising, so they contribute to incumbents generally. Incumbents still have an advantage. Oh, absolutely. In that part of the process. But one of the things that makes members nervous about this new parallel system, I think, is that now there are all these other avenues that people who really want to dramatically change not just the way a particular member thinks about an issue, but who that member might be, have lots of tools available to them now in terms of these outside groups and a much freer spending process than they had before, which makes, of course, members of Congress pretty nervous, because this is a binary kind of situation. You either win or you lose. Yeah, well, take a look at the fundraising in 2014 for the Senate.